to start off, I think different first day, and the expectations are a little bit different. I don't mean we're talking about winning football games right now. I just mean the intensity we do things with, the expectations of how we do them. I think we came out here really, really energetic at the beginning of practice, and we kind of died out towards the end. And I think it's something to be said. We're not going to start off slow, so I think we found something out a little bit. So, older guys. So we got two different teams right now. We got a really older group of guys that they are high end and played a lot of football, and we got some younger guys that we've got to do a lot of things to try to get them ready, because you never know how the season's going to go. So it's kind of unique. We got to come out swinging, we got to come out going, and we did that on the first day.
A lot of time hydrating between now and the morning.
Yeah, and it's really not that hot out here, but what people don't remember or forget that all of a sudden you throw a helmet on, and then you throw the anxiety into things. And you could say anything. You could say a guy like Myjai Sanders, who's played a lot of football, but all of a sudden you come out here now, it's a little bit more intense. It's it's not live, but the situations are like that the anxiety goes up, and the first thing that drains you and makes you cramp is anxiety. So I think all those things kind of add together.
You mentioned being kind of deliberate with pushing them. Is that for the older guys too, to just kind of snap them back?
Yeah, I think the whole idea of being humble and hungry, you kind of want them to see maybe the limitations that we do have if you aren't ready to roll. So in day one, you want to come out here and kind of get rolling really fast and make them realize, oh my goodness, maybe I'm not where I need to be to play a first game, which is fine. Sometimes as an older guy, you think you're already there, so you don't need these 21 days out here. So there's kind of a balance to maybe expecting that a little bit and maybe wanting it a little bit as well.
Does factor into that? I know you're always one guys to never feel comfortable being in that starting position. So with all the depth and young guys you talked about, kind of a reminder too.
Yeah, we've got to give those guys some opportunities so that they can play. And I mean that, we've got to evaluate them playing fast. And just because a guy's played a lot of football doesn't always mean he's a better football player. We got a lot of young guys that it's hard to evaluate them because we're so far along offensively and defensively that they are slowed down a little bit by what they know mentally, what they can handle. So as coaches, we got to do a really good job of evaluating that and giving those guys an opportunity to show what kind of football player they are, trying to limit the mental side of things.
Fifth camp for you, right? Does it feel any different? Fifth time around?
I think maybe last year made things realize that everything is different, and so I think maybe I'm going to look at that as a good thing. But every year brings on its own little challenges, and even this one, being out here for an X amount of time, you still know what you got when you go back. So in some ways, it's a little bit more intense knowing we might not have as much time. We still have the same amount of days, but just in how we use them. So every one of them's unique. And I think you just try to find a way each and every year to make this a little bit better.
You've got pretty much a whole offense and defense that it seems like 2 years together. How do you mix it up to keep pushing and challenging those guys so they're not seeing the same thing every day?
It's tough. We got to find ways to use the ones on twos a little bit more, just so we're so competitive sometimes. I don't want to say there's ever such thing as being too competitive, but at getting the work you need to get as opposed to just letting the emotions take over. So as we get in after these first 5 days, we'll go 5 and then we have a day off. Then we'll kind of reassess and then start to figure out what we need to do, for that second run of things. Whether that's some more ones on twos, twos on ones, what kind of challenges, how much do the ones do and how much do the twos do, because there's a lot of that group, that one Bs and 2As that we got to find a lot of things out about.
How ready is Jerome to be feature back?
Time will tell. I think that the unique thing for him is I know what he wants. We've talked about it. I know where what he wants to be and what he has worked to be. But it's different too, and I don't want to put too much on him. So to talk about him being the featured back, that's why in some ways you want to say, hey, there's a competition. Sometimes that keeps a guy's mind off of just, oh my goodness, I'm the featured guy. So I think there's a balance there, but we know darn well that in order for us to be great, we're going to need him to do what he showed he could do there in that last game.
You use that word great. That's where we're at this year. Good's not good enough anymore. It's time to be great.
No, but it's about how you do things. And if you're doing things, intentions, doing the little things really, really well, great, then the big things take care of themselves. So that's kind of just that idea of what the expectations are in day one. You're not going to win a championship in day one, but you can put yourself on track to lose it if you're not setting the tone for the things you need to do.
Des spoke about you wanting him to get up yesterday and speak in front of the team. What were you trying to get out of that?
here's a guy that's coming out here for his 4th year that's played more football here than probably anybody. And as he comes out here for 21 days, he's got things that he needs to do personally. When he walks out of here on whatever, August 21st, 1st or 2nd, whatever we do, so when he gets on that bus to ride home, he's going to have to think about, did I get better at these things? We'll handle the team things, we'll handle the unit things, but each guy's got to have individual things. And I want him to get up and tell the team what he needed to do so that some guys could realize this guy's got things to do. He's been here and he's played this much and he's supposed to do this. I know there's a lot of things I got to do. And what we're trying to do is fight ourselves from letting our minds cloud us and think, hey, when do we get out of here? No, only 19 more days or 18 more days to start a countdown as opposed to really focusing on the things we need to do.
Obviously, you've been around him a long time. How was he handling being kind of the face of a lot of the new ways, being the face of the program and the expectations?
Time will tell. I think he learned a lot from that sophomore year. I know he did, but I hope it carries over. Meaning sophomore year, you have that great freshman year, and a lot of things were thrown on you. A lot of people talked about this, that, and the other thing. And for him, I think he even put too much pressure onto himself, and then maybe didn't have the sophomore year that he wanted. I mean that individually. He played great. We won ball games, but I don't know that he really felt like he had the sophomore year that he wanted. And I think he learned a lot from that. He can handle all those other outside things, but it really comes down to what's he going to put upon himself and how's he going to be able to handle those things that he has within.
He was a captain last year, but just from what he said about speaking last night, what you're saying, it almost seems like both of you expect he can take that leadership to another level this season.
There's no doubt. I mean, he came back for a reason, not just to throw the ball better, not just to play more college football games. He came back to hone his leadership skills too. And, if you're ever going to go on in this game, especially at that position, if they don't really believe that you can be the alpha and the leader of a locker room, it's going to be really, really hard to think that you can run a next level player. It's nothing different here, and I just think another year of that gives him an opportunity to be that much further along. Yes, throwing the ball, yes, understanding football, but the unique things that you have to do about running a locker room and being that guy.
We're good?
Good?
Thank you.
Thanks.